Good morning, everyone. This is Rob. Welcome to my office here. It's vlog day, and I'm a little bit mixed today in my feelings. I'm wearing pink today, and wanted to share that I've been getting a lot of thought to. Been talking about suffering and joy, and have had some information recently that I know some people very close to me who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. And so my pink shirt is reminding me of that. To do that, I'm pretty excited because my wife is scheduled to do a pretty significant event, the Susan G. Coleman 3-day walk for breast cancer. It's about 60 miles in 3 days that they do, just a really tremendous thing. And breast cancer is really quite prevalent. And I'm sure there's a lot of counseling and therapy that's needs to go along with the grieving process. I know those close in my life, I've been able to reach out to them and just to hear them, and it's been amazing some of the responses that they've gotten, that they have such positive attitudes and everybody's encouraging them, and at the same time they feel like they don't have anybody who really gets close to them and can handle the grief, handle the fear factor that's associated with getting cancer. So I've been thinking a lot about that. I do like to do vlogs on what I'm working on and things that are relevant to our company. As the Chief Clinical Officer, like to always be focusing on how we focus on development and providing better treatment. And the last couple of weeks I've been focusing on therapist development. Really significant topic to look at. What does it look like? What is the experience, the objective experience of really developing as a therapist? We have so many therapists that are work for our company, and we want that to be a rewarding experience, that they can be empowered to own their own development and not just feel like, oh, I need more training, or I just need you guys to provide this for me, and then there's some resentment that sets in if that doesn't happen right away. Even though we provide tons of opportunity, that cycle can begin to creep in, and then that resentment leads to a lack of enthusiasm, morale decreases, and burnout seems to really accelerate at that point in time. And so just to touch on a few things, been looking into some research, doing some presentations. I want to highlight 3 really main factors that I'm pretty encouraged about looking at the research. Say, if therapists really focus on 3 important elements, 3 important factors to their development, that can be harnessed and embraced and objectively evaluated, and they can actually notice and be able to, what I would call, chart progress and see their own development. And those things are really 3 different things. It's looking at skill building through intervention. 2 is conceptualization, case conceptualization. And then 3 is personalization. So looking at 3 different factors: skill building, conceptualization, and personalization. Just boiling it down to those 3. And what's neat about those is we all need to develop our skills. We all need to develop competency with these interventions, and that builds our confidence. And that inevitably affects what? The client in saying, wow, I really trust what you're saying. And that's where it leads to a great amount of hope and expectancy for the client. And that's a real factor for them. Some might call it a placebo factor, but that expectancy factor, that this therapist has enough confidence in what they're doing, and there's cohesiveness through all of their interventions, and they have a great skill set at being able to implement those interventions, provides them a sense of hope and expectancy that things are going to change. They're going to create some healing. Nix Factors Conceptualization. This is really going in and really developing, identifying themes and patterns within the client, within understanding what their treatment is really about, and getting below what I would call the surface of details. Oftentimes we get lost in this hamster wheel of details and get lost in peripheral issues that might actually not be the real issue, the real heart of it. And identifying themes and patterns enables the clinician to conceptualize in a much more succinct way. Incredibly rewarding for the therapist to develop conceptualization skills. The last one I want to talk about is personalization. There is a certain amount of self-awareness and introspection that we need to develop as we increase in our careers and gain competency, that we need to become self-aware. Personalization of, wow, how do I impact the therapeutic relationship? Is there counterturns? countertransference happening within that relationship? What is really going on with me and my influence on that therapeutic relationship? And again, they're all sort of tied together. If you notice, there's common threads, but focusing on those three things, which I love, if we can do that and chart progress, be able to objectively write down, get some feedback, engage in what I would call deliberate practice around that, get away from the subjective self-report, but have more objective measures to do those things, wow, we're going to empower therapists to own their development. Pretty exciting stuff. So thank you guys. I appreciate sharing with you and look forward to seeing you on the next vlog. Bye-bye.